What's up my friend, welcome back to the channel. So today, I am diving deep into the skies of Metropolis and beyond, so let's dissect the film that's officially kicked off a brand new era for the DC Universe, which is James Gunn's Superman. So the anticipation for this movie has been huge. And after years of a somewhat fractured DC cinematic landscape, James Gunn, the mastermind behind the Guardians of the Galaxy, has taken the task, promising a cohesive and exciting future for DC. And Superman of 2025 isn't just another Superman movie, it's meant to be the cornerstone, and the symbol of a fresh start. So here's the big question, has James Gunn delivered a great Superman? And does Superman of 2025 soar to new heights, or does it stumble in its attempt to redefine the Man of Steel and DCU? So let's break this down, what this film gets absolutely right, and where it might fails to please the viewers. So let's start with the positives, because there's definitely a lot to be excited about. And one of the most noticeable thing in this movie is the tone. James Gunn has brought blend of heart, humor, and action to the Superman. And this isn't the brooding, or overly serious Superman, which we've seen in early DCU films. And Corenswet's Clark Kent feels genuinely earnest and good-natured, but believe me, he is not innocent. And there's a lightness and optimism that you will feel, and that's why it's incredibly refreshing. Then the casting across the board is fantastic. Like David Corenswet embodies that classic Superman look, and carries the weight of the role with grace. Rachel Brosnahan is a sharp and witty Lois Lane, with a fantastic on-screen chemistry with Superman. Then let's talk about Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and trust me, this isn't your typical mustache-twirling villain. Hoult brings a chilling intelligence, and a different sense of personal vendetta to the role, making him a compelling and nuanced antagonist. And another major win is how Superman of 2025 begins to build a wider DC universe. Because while it smartly focuses on Superman's story, there are clear nods and teases to other heroes and storylines. Like the introduction of the Justice Gang, felt organic and exciting, hinting at the interconnected world, which James Gunn is aiming to create. And like that, it avoids the trap of feeling like just another standalone superhero flick. Then furthermore, the movie smartly navigates the familiar Superman origin. And by jumping into a point where Clark is already somewhat established as Superman, it allows the narrative to explore more complex themes and character dynamics, particularly his place in the world, and his relationship with Lois. Of course, there is no perfect movie, and Superman of 2025 also have some areas where it didn't perform well, or where concerns for this new DC era might arise. And one potential issue for some viewers could be the pacing. Because at times, the film juggles quite a few plot threads, like Superman's internal struggle, his relationship with Lois, the looming threat of Lex Luthor, and the hints at the wider DC universe. And this occasionally makes certain storylines feel a little rushed or underdeveloped. And while the humor mostly lands, there are moments where it might feel slightly out of place, or tonally inconsistent for some viewers. Additionally, while the nods to the wider DC universe are exciting, there's a risk in future installments, like the need to set up other projects, could potentially overshadow the core story. It's like a tightrope walk, to build a shared universe, without sacrificing the individual narratives. And we'll have to see how this plays out in subsequent DC Universe films. So then here's the question, does Superman of 2025 is a successful guide to a new era for DC? Actually, I think the answer is yes, but with a few restrictions. James Gunn has brought a much-needed sense of optimism and fun back to the DC Universe, and his vision for Superman feels both classic and fresh. Like the strong performances, a mostly engaging story, and the clear groundwork being laid for a wider world, which is incredibly promising. However, the slight pacing issues, and the constant awareness of the larger DC universe, could be potential pitfalls for moving forward. But the key to sustained success will be ensuring that each individual story remains strong and compelling, in its own right. So the Superman of 2025 feels like a genuine turning point for DC. It's a movie with a fantastic Superman, and a clear sense of direction. While there are minor areas for improvement, but the foundation laid here is incredibly strong, and I'm genuinely excited to see where James Gunn is going to take this universe. So what did you think of Superman of 2025? Did it live up to your expectations for a new DC era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of superheroes.